welcome back to the channel. My name is Deborah, aka the Sunset Girl Creates, and today we'll be continuing to work on American Roots. It is a round diamond. I have too much glare going on. There, that's better. It's a round diamond. The size is 29 inches by 22 inches or 74 centimeters by 56 centimeters. We are finishing up this top area here. We should have it done, if not today, tomorrow. And what I'm working on in the afternoons currently is a different project, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. We're going to be doing green, which is 24, number 4 today. So that's our symbol we'll be working with. If you see me lay the wrong one, scream at me. Just kidding, you can't scream at me. I can't hear you, right? It would be nice if you could scream at me. So basically what I've been doing when I'm going through and deciding which color to do now that I'm towards the very end of the section is I'm basically going color by color. So we're currently on color 24 and I have 39 to go, so I have 15 more colors, but not all those colors go in here. So we're gonna see when I do the next few ones. By 30 we'll have most of this closed down. There may be a few left after that. However, we're going to push to get this done. When I'm done with the video, I am going to work on this and try to get it done as fast as possible. The reason being is that we only have 9 more days till the end of the month, and that's when I said I would have this done by. And that's what I'm really trying hard to do. I have 2 projects that my plan was to have them done by the end of this month. I'm 1 section away from the crochet being completed, and then I can go back to concentrating on this. So I can do the bottom in about a day. So I don't see that it will take me long. I still have to weave in all my ends, and a lot of times I don't weave my ends in until I'm done sewing. And if I'm going to be sewing it close, most of the time I'll just leave them within because I know that they're not going to go anywhere, or I'll attach them somehow so that they don't show through. And so it turned out really pretty. I really like how the colors broke out between the 2 skeins. And you can really, the only real difference you can tell when you look at the whole thing, and I've got it back as far as I can without touching the glue, is that the colors almost blend together, the 2 skeins, and the only difference is a couple shades within the one's blue, one's aqua, one's pink, one's a little brighter pink with a different hue. The other one's green and the other one's orange. So, I mean, we have a lot that are similar. So these 2 really blend and go well to where they're there, but you can't tell fully. So that's the top section. So all I have is the bottom section of that color range to go, and then I'll have that one completed, which will be super, super exciting. And yeah, we're getting closer and closer to having both of these projects done, which makes me really excited because being able to get them done is fantastic. I just can't believe that I'm this close to having it completed, right? This close to having both of these projects completed, having 2 diamonds paintings started and completed in the month of July. That's pretty accomplishable. And created a top mattress cover for the front and back, and I've already got the cover for the seat, and I gotta finish the other one. I haven't started it, but it goes pretty quick. I could probably have it completed in the afternoon. If not, I'll complete it this evening when I'm watching TV. That way, that other than sewing it, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna pull and use. I need to sort through my linen closet. I have some old beach towels, and the main reason I'm thinking of beach towels is because they're also cotton and absorbent, and if they get wet, they dry quickly, right? So the materials I'm using are quickly dryable materials. Since we get as much rain as we do, and most of the time nothing in the carport gets touched. But if the wind is blowing just right at some point, it might blow directly on them and get them wet, right? So if we're going to be sitting in the carport where people in the neighborhood can see us, I really don't want them to see us sitting on old couch pillows when I can create my own cushions, right? And I'm not buying ones that are in the store, because those things, even though they look thick, they're thin, right? They're not what I want. So if I want one, see, and I have the pillows already, and I'm going to be using, and they're fluffy. They're just the nice, big, fluffy, perfect consistency to really sit on and enjoy my chair and still be able to take part in the afternoon parties we have in our carport. It's not really a party. I mean, to me, life is a party. I didn't go to bed till almost 10 o'clock last night. Wow, yeah. We were watching Hotel Impossible on Discovery Channel. And that show is so cool. Sorry. Anthony goes around the United States and some of the Caribbean. The last one we watched, one of the ones we watched was he was in Maui at it and helping this couple with their LGBT resort, right? In Hawaii, right? And I'm not going to give away the secret, but I'm just kind of giving the synopsis so you understand. And so there were a lot of he wanted to stay that and not realizing that he had it opened up. It was being advertised, and really everything that they see on the documentation is that it's basically a gay resort, right? And gay in all respect. I very well support all of the LGBT and all of the various cultures within the United States. I really think that that's what makes the United States who we are. We are a country of freedom. We are a country that allows us to speak freely and not be guarded when we talk in public or when we go to a protest. As long as the protest is done correctly and there's not violence, then that demonstration is worth going to for me, right? But I'm not going to go somewhere that condoned violence. because I really wanted to go out and support the Black Lives Matters here in Florida, but there was so much violence going on that I just couldn't put myself in a position like that. So I really like how, you know, it's kind of moved from Black Lives Matter to an All Lives Matter, and it's truly, honestly, if we're ever going to come together in the United States and be a basically cohesive team together, right? If we don't come out and be a cohesive team within all the cultures, that means Asian American. None of the Asian American culture should ever worry, ever, about being in the United States. They're included just as much as anybody else. Okay? This country is about inclusion and freedom to be our own person, you know, and that's not afforded to everybody in the world. You know, it's not afforded that women can actually vote. I mean, go to the Middle East. Think about the Middle East. Women aren't even allowed to speak, you know, unless spoken to. I mean, for me, if you told me I wasn't allowed to speak unless I was spoken to, I was told that a couple of times as a kid. Didn't work. I've always been the child that they can't shut up. I've always talked. I've always loved being the center of attention. Look at me, look at me, look at me. When I was growing up, it was look at me, look at me, look at me. And if you were looking at somebody else, then I was only second class at that point in my mind. I had to really work through that. Yes, I can have that kind of confidence. And the reason I have that confidence is because my parents instilled that confidence, and my grandparents instilled that confidence within me. You know, so I've always been a very confident woman, and girl growing up and all of that. But, you know, there was one period in my life, and I'm not going to go into much detail, but there was one period in my life as I'm learning to become my own person out there in the world. And I met a gentleman that I ended up dating and eventually getting married to. And this gentleman, he perceived himself as being a very kind, loving man while we were dating. But once we got married, that all changed. I now became his punching bag. Mentally, no matter what I did or how I did it, I always came home, or he came home and decided it was time that he was going to take his anger and emotions and he was going to find me and take them out on, right? Well, that can kill a girl's confidence faster than anything else in the world, right? I mean, because we're being told that we're fat, we're ugly, we're no good. You know, and it was really strange for me to be in a situation like that. And that's because I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't raised that you belittle people. I was raised that you bring people up. That you let people know you're doing a great job. Awesome. I always tell my family please and thank you. And I work really hard to let people know when I see them doing something that I appreciate something they've done. Even when my husband does the dishes, because I can't stand at the sink anymore to do them. So now it's his responsibility. And, you know, I have to remember that it's not me in charge of it, that it is him in charge of it. and it's his responsibility because I gave that responsibility to him. And I said, I can't do it. It's yours now. So he doesn't do them every day, but the days that he does do them, I acknowledge it. I say, great job. That's awesome. I'm so glad that we've been able to get this done. Or thank you for cleaning the kitchen. That means a lot to me. It's things like that that I find that are important when it comes to a relationship, right? Because a relationship always takes work. And you have to remember that your partner is still a person. And they still want to hear that you love them daily. They want to hear that you appreciate them daily. You know, and I think we get going in the daily grind of life. And those are some of the things that we sometimes forget. You know, you come home, you're tired from working all day. All you want to do is kick off your feet and do nothing. My partner retired early, so he would be off when I get home. And he'd be ready to do something because he hasn't had anything to do all day, right? But now I'm tired because I've been busy all day. Because I've worked. And my brain's tired. My brain cannot function any longer, right? And that's the way it was really getting. My brain couldn't function. And it was they kept the office so cold, that it would cause me not to be able to function because I'd be in so much pain because it was so cold. It was finally the turning point that made me agree to start taking the Lyrica. And I knew that my doctor told me if he takes me off the gabapentin and puts me on Lyrica, that I would have to move over to a pain specialist to be watched. And so I got lucky that they've now added one to the office that I go see the doctor in, right? So when I go in, I just go to the same place whether I'm seeing my regular doctor who takes care of me on a regular basis, or do I go see this pain specialist? That's really the difference, and it's all in one building. It doesn't cost me any different price. I never had to do any workups. I never had to prove anything because all the documentation was already there. A lot of my pain management, all of my pain management for the last 7 years now has been managed by Dr. Muniz. And so he knows and has all of my information on file. And so I also heard from Social Security, and on the 29th, I will not be here in the morning, so it's not going to affect your videos that you see because I'm always one video ahead, and I'm going to do what I can to get 2 videos ahead before the 29th, so that way I can ensure that I lost my train of thought. But anyways, I just want to make sure that everything stays nice and everything runs smoothly. And that's what's most important to me, right? So, what else is going on? Yeah, I stayed up till 9 or 10, almost 10 last night. Still up at the regular time, right? Doesn't matter. I still get up at 5 o'clock. Doesn't that kind of crazy? Yeah, I'm still a little bit tired, but you know, I've got some of my energy drinks now going through me, and I make my own energy drinks. I have a soda machine, And so I put my own CO2 into regular water, and then I purchase those single drink mixes, the ones that you see that go in the water bottles, and I just use them, and I make my own soda. And I've actually not had any type of soda other than what I make with my water. And the reason I do that is because I need to have more water, but I cannot stand the taste of water. Doesn't matter. So by doing this, I can flavor it a little bit. I can get a little bit of energy added to it, but it's based on what I want, not what I find in the stores. And I'm really getting to the point where I want things what I want, not what somebody tells me I have to have, right? I'm not going to have a pre-made energy drink because that's what they say is out there. It doesn't work that way for me. I can't function that way and make it work. For me, it just doesn't work. So I choose to be in a group. For me, that's the best way to do it. And I tend to stay with my husband. And a lot of times we'll stay home. And that's our group. Our group sits at home. And it's not because I don't want to interact with people, but it allows me to be a little more comfortable in the times when I need to be comfortable and not worry about what other people wonder or think what I'm doing, right? So, and I'm still trying to get disability so I don't overdo things. Just going to the store is enough to tire me out, right? Just from the muscle pain and all of that. So I don't do a whole lot of shopping. My tax return finally made it to the account. I only filed in April. It was a little shorter because I miscalculated the checks we got from the government. And so I miscalculated. There'll be some that there'll still be one that we got after the first of the year, and after Biden came on, and that one I accidentally included. So it shortened it up just a little bit, but I will have that amount to be able to use this year. So I'll be able to put that on this year's and get that $400 this year instead of last year. And then, so yesterday we went to Walmart.com, and we really bought a lot of stuff that is needed to fill the house, right? Because we haven't stocked up the house in a long time. And now that we only have one more unemployment check coming, that we know of cash coming in the house immediately. And after that, we know no more cash is coming in. So we wanted to ensure that we do we wanted to ensure that there's no mistakes here, that we really think about what we're doing, because we've got Social Security that we need to deal with, and it's going to be a tight thing. So we've stocked up on our groceries, which really makes me happy because we stocked up on healthy things snacks that will that are lower in calorie that I can eat. I got stuff for my chocolate chip or my peanut butter cookies. I make my own peanut butter cookies. I finally found my Splenda brown sugar. So that means my peanut butter cookies themselves, other than the peanut butter itself and the sugar that's in it, there's no sugar within this recipe. And so if I use the brown sugar that comes, that is done by Splenda, I used half the amount. So I do have to do some adjustments on the recipe. But when I was shopping, I found the mini M&M's baking chips. Yeah, I had to get me a couple bags. They'll just sit in the fridge. And I like to add M&M's or chocolate chips or something to my peanut butter cookies, right? And my husband really doesn't like very many cookies. So the cookies are really mine, which is a nice thing. And then I got me some of my favoritist popsicles. And so those groceries will be delivered between 2 and 3 today. So then the house will be really stocked up and we won't really have to worry too much for a while. Got some extra meat, got a couple packages of the split breast chickens that we like, got some chicken tenderloins that I like to use for my stir fries, because we are having more and more stir fries. I got a couple more seasonings for the stir fry. What else did we get? I got so many things. We stocked up on soap and deodorant. It sounds crazy, but yeah, soap and deodorant. And what we didn't get at Walmart, because there's a few things that I prefer to get from Family Dollar. They have the paper plates I like, and they're cheaper. They're the smaller size. They're bigger than the, let's see. They're bigger. It's a salad plate, okay? So it's the smaller of the two plates. There's the salad plate and then there's the big plate. Well, the last time I was buying plates, I bought the big ones and not the salad plates. And I don't like that because part of the reason that I use the smaller plates is because I'm really famous for doing this trick, and I'll tell you. Okay, this is a secret. I don't tell many people this trick. It's really not a trick. Let me just, oh God. My brain's just quit functioning on me again. I'll come back to it. Man, I'm just not, see, sometimes this is what happens. This is why I can't work. Really, because I just lose track. And if I'm in a business meeting, I'm trying to sell something, and all of a sudden I don't have the information in my head, what am I supposed to do? I mean, I was a manager. I had to manage a team. I had to manage a department. And I did have to report to management. So I had to go and report. So being able to fill up my house, though, with extra food and things that we can stock up on, you know. So we got 3 soaps each, and we got 2 deodorants each to put in the cupboard. So we're basically getting things to stock up for when we don't have the money, because I used my thing. And we'll get back to the plates now, because I remember what I was getting ready to say. So I used the smaller plates, and I always was the one that filled my plate. So if I have one of those big dinner plates, I really feel like I'm not getting a full meal. But if I take it down to that smaller plate, I don't have to fill the plate. I can make the plate look nice and have decent amount of food, and I don't feel guilty that I'm eating so much, because I'm really not eating a lot. It's just that I'm on paper plates that are smaller, right? So that's my reason. So we'll go get some paper plates. We're going to stock up on some of my cough medicine, since I do have emphysema, and it is a common occurrence in our house now that I cough. And we'll get me some Kleenex, and because we're out of Kleenex now, and you know, get some extra paper towels that I might need. So just go through. We had them hold 2 cases of water for us yesterday, or day before yesterday. We've got to pick that up today. and we ordered we ordered 7 gallons from Walmart to be delivered. So I think we'll have 13 gallons. But you know what? 2 days ago, we bought a regular pack of the bottled waters, 24 bottled waters. And by last night, we drank almost all of them. That's how much water we drink. So for us to have 13 gallons, it seems like a lot and that we're hoarding, but we're really not. We really go through almost 2 gallons of water now a day between the two of us because we just love water. And I'm not going out. I'd rather spend $7, less than $7. So 7 times 8 is $5.60, right? That's what I paid for 7 jugs of water, right? And it's the same price at Family Dollar. So, but I bought 7 jugs, so I paid $5.60 for 7 gallons of water. And that'll get me as much as I want to drink. And I'll be healthy. And I don't have to worry about all the bad shit in a soda and paying for soda, because if I bought 7 gallons worth of soda, it would not total $5.60. I can guarantee you that, right? But if I buy $5.60 worth of water, now I can make 7 gallons of soda if that's what I want, because I have the soda maker, the CO2 soda maker here in my house. Best birthday present I think I've ever got in my life. It's one thing that really led me to start really working hard. I've quit drinking alcohol. I've lowered my calories. I have been working, getting a few more steps in. I had a victory the other day that came across my phone because I scheduled it to burn 270 calories. And let me preface why it's only 270 calories. Because I only put 1,000 calories in me. So if you take 250 calories away from that already, then all I have is 750 that's going to process through my body if I do all 1,000. And I don't always do all 1,000 calories. I eat when I'm hungry, and I stop when I'm full. And I quit eating fast. I put my food on a small plate or in a small bowl. And that's really how I deal with life, right? It's so much worth it, right? Simplicity is worth it. I never thought I would enjoy simplicity so much, but I really do. Okay? So let's get on with our article. We have to finish the article from yesterday. So I have I forgot to say that I finally took that yellow out and I moved to dark blue. So I started this dark blue yesterday, so we're going to see how long that dark blue lasts. So let's see what the iPad says. We were in the middle of our article, right? We were halfway through. We were going to finish the rest today. And let's go to our there we go. Let's see. Beat boredom, 14 productive things to do when bored at home. So we got through the first 7, right? So we're going to finish and start with number 8. So I'm going to take a quick drink before we get started. Number 8, update your resume and LinkedIn profile. Even if you're not looking for a new job, it's a good idea to regularly update your resume and LinkedIn. It makes it much easier when you do decide to apply for a new job, and it keeps the world alert to what you've accomplished in your career. Yeah, when I worked at ProLink, it was a requirement that we kept our LinkedIn profiles up to date, and so I did. So when my job finally ended with Noodle and Chase, I actually had my LinkedIn profile pretty much ready to go, just to update. And I even updated it when I moved to Oasis. So I had all of the data, so I don't have to worry about it. I can pull that data when I create resumes, right? So your LinkedIn profile is like a resume that can be reviewed online at any time. Although you may not need to update your specific job description, though you certainly should if your responsibilities have changed, you can add links to relevant work, post updates on your industry, and stay connected with others in a similar field. Updating your resume may involve adding your latest job or altering your descriptions. Sometimes, even if the information hasn't changed, the language can use a bit of improvement. So yeah, I always worked on my LinkedIn profile when I worked at ProLink because that was something that we had to do. But ProLink, I'm going to tell you right from the beginning before I say anything more about this company, is one of the most stand-up companies and responsible companies, and probably it is the best company I've ever worked for. It was a small business when I joined. I was the 8th employee to be hired, and I stayed with the company. I also worked with the company when I worked in a different law firm. I worked in a U.S. law firm, and so when it came to immigration, I had some U.S. background, and I had already done billing for ProLink. So I ended up moving from the U.S. law firm, which closed down because both attorneys passed away, and so I ended up going to work for ProLink, and I worked for them for 10 years. I was one of the longest employees to be there. I was the only employee to receive the Employee of the Year award. After they started giving those out, they ended up preparing to sell the business, so they never gave any more out. So I had the distinction of being the only one to ever receive it. It was well deserved that year. I worked really hard that year. We had to create databases and different things to move things around because we'd had a data breach. So I was able to jump in and start building databases and get things moved so that the data doesn't get corrupted and that it's no longer taken. So it's things like that that you do in your job. Sometimes you don't think about it and you just do it, right? It's what you do. And sometimes people even come back and thank you for doing that. And that's what makes doing a job and getting it done well all worth it in the end, right? Because that's what we all want. Create your own garden. So number 9 is create your own garden. A very productive project, creating your own home garden, can help you integrate fresh vegetables into your daily diet and teach you a valuable skill. If you have children at home, this is an activity you can do together. Teaching them how to grow and care for a living plant, and educating them on healthy eating if you've never had a garden before or any kind of plant. It's best to start small. Get a few easy plants that you know you have to maintain. As you see success and realize that you enjoy gardening, you can move on to larger, more difficult projects. For anyone who may not have a background in home gardening, you can still invest in small herbs that can grow on your front porch or in a windowsill planter. You can also learn how to care for indoor plants that can add some life literally to your home and help purify the air for healthier living. So I know that gardening and flowers and botany is something that many people in the world enjoy doing, right? So that's something we're all commonly used to seeing. So that's a common kind of thing, and you don't realize until you start getting out there and digging. Now, I've done different things in my yards, and I've recreated my yards, and I've built flower gardens from bricks and all different kinds of things. So, I mean, I have experience in some of this. I'm not a big garden person. I'm not a big let me grow everything that you've got kind of person. I just don't do that. That's not what I do or anything that I usually want to do anything with, right? So let's see what the next thing is on our list, because I think this one's going to at least resonate with me more. Not that the gardening doesn't resonate with anybody already. I sure hope it does resonate with somebody, and that somebody enjoys gardening and gets the joy, and because I know there's lots of joy in it. Ever since I moved to from California to Florida, I have no idea how planting and when you should plant, because I tried to do it and I did it based on California and I screwed up really bad. And then I looked into Florida, but you know, trying to learn a whole new environment to grow plants when the birds around here usually literally eat my plants as soon as they start growing, any of my flowers, any of my vegetables. So I'm done doing that, right? But there's plenty of people out there that love to garden, that love to have it. My grandmother used to love roses, and it didn't matter her. She wanted roses. She didn't want anything else. She just wanted roses. So she had a big brick flower bed in her front yard on the front of her house that had, what was it, 7 varieties of roses. Exotic roses, not just everyday roses. I mean, these are roses that my grandmother and my mother found online and had to order, and they weren't the cheapest to buy. So, and then I had those roses for many years because I bought my grandmother's house. So there's lots of things that I've done in the past because I was in California versus being in Florida. And Florida is such a different environment. It's got moisture. The rainy season's totally different. Trying to know what season to plant something in, what works good in Florida versus what I used to do in California. I mean, and for me, I just can't do it. So let's see what the next one is, which is one that I'd love to have time to do, right? Work your way through a book list. Reading a book is the perfect way to pass the time, whether you want to lose yourself in a fictional novel or read up on a nonfiction subject. If you find yourself feeling bored in the house often, make a list of books that you're interested in reading, or books you've been saying you would read for years, and slowly work your way down the list. Much like completing a diamond painting, finishing a book can give you a great sense of accomplishment, while also sharpening your mental skills and potentially teaching you something new. So I used to use the opportunity because when I was working and everything, I didn't really have a whole lot of time to read or play or anything else, right? Because when I was working at ProLink, I worked long hours, okay? So sometimes I didn't even get away to be able to go to work, right? All I could do was go to work and get it done and get back to the house. But by the time I got back to the house, it was usually pretty late in the evening or afternoon, right? Usually evening, though. So, you know, I didn't have a whole lot of time to do something playful, right? But I could sit down and read a book. And when I commuted back and forth, I read books. I had books. I have Audible, and so I have a lot of Audible books. And so I may not have time to sit down and read, but I can listen when I drive, right? So that's what I used to do on my commutes. I used to read books while I commuted. And I just get books that are interesting. Since all this is going on, I'm going to be canceling my Audible membership, but that's okay because I have like 9 books I haven't read yet, so, or more than that. 9 is just a rough estimate. I think it's more like 20. So let's go ahead and continue reading. Oops. Come on. I just put new micro dots in it, so it's going to take a minute for it to get used to it. If you really want to challenge yourself, you can look for a book list look for book list challenges that encourage you to find, read, and check off specific types of books, such as a book with food in the title or a book recommended by a friend. This will help you branch out into genres you may not have expected you liked, and most importantly, it will keep you occupied while you're stuck in the house. So yeah, most of these were written during COVID, and so during COVID, we were stuck in the house for a lot of time, right? So a lot of these things are like things you can do when you're stuck in the house. So to me, this is almost reading that it was something that could be done during COVID, right? So that's always a good idea. It doesn't matter what time of the year. If you're even here in Florida, we get stuck in the house for 2 days because we're in the middle of a hurricane. What do you do during that? Especially if the power goes out. You read a book, right? I'm just going to adjust the camera just a little bit. So next one, do an at-home workout. Motivating ourselves to exercise can be difficult, but once you've set a routine and you stick to it, it becomes something you actually look forward to. Exercise is obviously good for your physical bodies, but it also can greatly improve positive thinking and overall mental health. Because endorphins are released while working out, your brain begins to experience the feeling of euphoria. Because of this, working out can also help you reduce your levels of stress and anxiety. If you've never tried working out at home, you can discover thousands of great workout videos on YouTube to walk through a routine. Zoom classes are also a very popular option right now. You can also participate in yoga and other workout classes in your area without having to leave the house. So yeah, these were based on COVID. So 12, spend time with the family. Whenever you're feeling bored in the house, recruit some other members of the household to play a game, work on a diamond painting, or watch a movie together. This is the perfect opportunity to spend more time as a family and bond together. You can even make it a regular activity and let a different person choose each time what they want to do for family night. Try new activities together and reflect on what you learned and what you enjoyed about the time spent. 13. Learn a new language. Many people dream about being bilingual, but again, feel as though they don't have the time or resources to accomplish this goal. With so many technological advancements, it's easier now than ever to learn a new language. Pick a language that interests you or that you may already have some base knowledge of. Then you can use a combination of different tools to begin your education, from online teaching programs like Duolingo to watching foreign movies and reading books in another language. When scheduling your day of the week, you can make this part of your regular routine. Practicing for even just 30 minutes per day can help you on your journey. Learning a new language sounds great, and you know they do. They really have a lot of ones out there. So if you just look into language learning programs, you'll find lots out there these days. Number 14, research and write down bucket list ideas. This is always fun. I've been actually doing this a lot now that we've decided that once Social Security comes through and everything, and we get the SUV paid off, we're going to buy a motorhome. And I'm super happy, super happy we're getting close to that. And so I've been um, thinking about the places that I want to visit in the United States, because I've always wanted to look at the different museums and, historic areas, and just get to know the culture of different cities, right? Would be awesome for me. So when you're bored at home, it's one of the best times to work on your bucket list. You can write down a handful of destinations you want to visit and activities you want to try, and then do research. You have the ability to make your dreams a reality, so start now. Complete your list and record valuable information to help you prioritize and find realistic ways to achieve your goals. So there's lots of ways to achieve those goals, and you really need to just know what you want and then do what you can to make it work. And that's what my husband and I are working on. That's what we want to do. We both love camping, and we both love being in the outdoors, and we love all of that. And so for us, this is a perfect storm for us. It's perfect for us. So make your free time count. It is important that we all take breaks to simply hang out and do nothing. But when we find ourselves with an abundance of free time, boredom begins to set in. We need to keep our minds engaged and feel a sense of motivation and accomplishment, which is why we pulled together this list of the most productive things to do when you're bored at home. Next time you find yourself complaining about not doing anything, whip out your diamond painting project or start reorganizing your house. You'll feel much more productive once you've completed a task. Then it's time to relax. And you know what? I don't consider pulling out a diamond painting to be completing a task. It's not something that I have to do. It's something that I want to do. And so I don't earmark it as a task, because if it's a task, I don't want to do it. I don't want nothing to do with it, okay? And it's not because I don't like diamond painting. It's because I love diamond painting. And I don't consider it a chore where now I have to spend 30 minutes a day doing it. And if I don't, then I'm not accomplishing something. I diamond paint when I want to diamond paint. I crochet when I want to crochet. I knit when I want to knit. I silhouette when I want to silhouette. My husband and I have been going around and around that I buy crafts and I never use everything, and I need to quit buying so much at one time. And he just doesn't know or even understand what that means. And so for me, it's there when I want to use it. I don't have to use it every day, but it's there when I want to. And that's what matters the most to me. So, with that said, I want to thank you all once again for being subscribers to the Sunset Girl Creates family. And if you enjoyed this video, we'd love to have a thumbs up. If you don't, a thumb down's just fine, but please let us know why you're giving us a thumbs down. And if you want to be part of the Sunset Girl Creates, we'd love to have you part of the family. Come on, share it with your friends. Let your friends know that we're here, right? Do what you can to share to get this channel out. If you love this channel, I'd love the assistance on getting it out, and you helping share my channel out and putting in comments and putting in thumbs downs and thumbs ups. Those are important. Those are things that allow me to grow my channel. So if you would really love to share, that would be fantastic. One last thing before I shut down. I did make an order to Amazon, and they're coming tomorrow, so it'll probably be in the video I do Saturday, but I do have some craft supplies that are coming, and I have some nails that are coming. I'll unbox these on the channel Saturday when they get here. So With that said, I want to thank everybody for coming, and you all have a fantastic, wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.